Well, hello and welcome back. And now we get to talk about my favorite topic, moi. No, today I want to talk about my youngest son, whom I love. And I don't know if it's going to,
Well, I
don't know if it's going to seem like that when I'm done talking, but so he is, no, I'm just kidding. So he's always been, Jack and I have always referred to him as our little old man. Because even at a very young age, and I'm going to send, I'm going to have you put a picture on here so everybody can see. This is this picture this is right one here. Of my favorite pictures of him ever. He's 4 years old in this picture, drinking his Kool-Aid, and he's got a look on his face that says, I wish these kids would get off my lawn.
Yes, he does. He absolutely
does.
That
is that sums him up wholly. He's always been a little curmudgeon. I love him, and he's whip smart, like whip smart. Yeah. But I remember, so we bought a Dodge Challenger, and for those of you not familiar with that car, the back windows are just little triangles or little circles or whatever shape it is, but they're just tiny, and it's not like a 4-door car where everybody has their own window, right? It's a 2-door car. And so I remember we took the kids for a ride in it, and Jackson, his first complaint was the music was too loud. Could you turn the music down? I can't hear. And we're like, okay. And then we get it. You
haven't established that Jackson is your son's name.
Oh, sorry.
By the way, your youngest son's name is
My
Jackson.
Son's name is Jackson. Name. Let's establish that. Yes. So Jackson. But Jackson was like, turn the music down. I can't hear. And we're like, okay, Grandpa. And then when he got out of the car, we went for a ride in our new car, and we're like, how'd you like the car? And he goes, I don't like that I have to climb over that seat. And I'm like, first of all, you're 6. Calm down. Second of all, I mean, it's not like you're, a 6'5", 300-pound man trying to get in the back seat climbing over. He's a 6-year-old. But anyway. Right. And he also didn't like that he couldn't see out the windows. So we told him, well, when you buy a car, you can definitely buy a 4-door car. You
have all the windows you want.
You can buy a car made of windows. But there was another time when we were in Las Vegas, and we've always tried to let our kids be independent, so as soon as they could, we would let them order for themselves. And it was just like, tell them what you want. Sometimes even when they were littler and they couldn't really read, we would read it to them and then be like, what do you want? Okay, when the waitress comes, make sure you tell her. So he could read though. So we were in Vegas at some little diner getting ready to get breakfast, and Jackson wanted the menu, wanted to hold the menu. Because I said, well, I'll share my menu with you. He's like, I want my own menu. I'm like, okay. Gave him a menu. It wasn't even like it was fancy. They were paper menus, they bring out, they can throw them away if they get dirty. Yeah. But he saw, it said, so what it said was pancakes, and he loves pancakes. And it said $6 pancakes, $4. And he was like, I'm going to get the $6 pancakes for $4. That's a deal. And I was like, I don't think that's what that is, Jackson. I think it's dollar pancakes. The dollar pancakes that are about that big. And he would not hear it. No, it says $6 pancakes for $4. And I was like, okay, you know what? Order what you want. And he argued with me, and we were like, okay, fine. We tried to tell him. So then the waitress, waitress comes over, takes our order. He orders his $6 pancakes for $4. And she leaves. She comes back with our food, puts it down in front of us, puts down his $6 size pancakes. And that's all it is. $4, but you get 6 little tiny pancakes. She puts the plate down in front of him, and he looks at it. He goes, this is all I get for $4? And I was like, but he was so mad. We tried to tell him, but he didn't want to hear it. Also, so I used to pack the kids' lunches. And like we've talked about before, my kids used to go to school, where they used to go to school was literally a block away from my mother-in-law's house.
Right.
So I would drop them off usually earlier than they needed to be dropped off. And then because I had to go to work, and so then they would walk from there. So I would pack their lunches, get them ready to go. And then in the evenings when I picked them up, they were supposed to unpack their lunches. So throw away any trash, anything like that. And I had a really bad problem with them not eating their potato chips and then putting an open bag of potato chips back in their lunch bag. And so then they shake it around, and then how hard it is to clean the insides of those lunch bags? It's just a pain in the butt. It's not like I can throw it in the wash machine,
Right.
So I finally thought I had broken them of this habit of putting these half-eaten bags of chips back in their lunch bags. So this particular morning, I pull their lunch bags out and I open it up, and my kids are sitting at the table eating breakfast. And I open up Jackson's lunch bag and I go, Jackson, why do you have an open bag of potato chips in your bag? We've gone through this. He goes, oh, I needed to save those so I could call the number on the back of the bag. And I was like, I'm sorry, one more time. He goes, yeah. He goes, I opened that bag of chips, Mom. And it was the regular ones, you buy for lunches. They come in a variety pack. That's a little bag of chips.
Yeah.
He goes, I opened that bag. There were 9 chips. 9 chips. And I go, okay. He goes, I was going to call the 800 number and I go, what did you want them to do for you? He's like, I don't know, but they need to know because that's not okay.
He's right. That's not okay. 9 chips. Oh, and how old was he? What grade was this? 7.
Yeah, he was 7. He had a fit about the pancakes. I know.
You need to have him do a past life regression therapy at some point and see a life he's had in the past.
He is just, he's very literal and very serious. So I remember when he was I think it was 4 years old, how he argued with Jack. This was a little logic argument with Jack. And he said, with his dad, he said, snakes poop poison. And Jack says, I don't think that's right, buddy. And Jackson goes, yeah, snakes poop poison. And he goes, okay. He's like, I still don't think that's right. I think they, if they bite, their venom is poisonous, but I don't think it doesn't come out in their poop. And Jackson goes, well, how do they eat? And Jack's like, well, they eat through their mouth. And he goes, yeah, but how do they kill their prey? And he goes, okay, well, with the poison. He goes, right. They inject poison into their prey. They eat it. Then they poop it out. And I was like, he's got you there.
Done.
He was
science. 4. Because science. Wow.
It just,
that is hysterical.
And at that moment, I was like, these kids are too smart for us.
We've done something terribly wrong. This is not right.
Something has horribly gone wrong.
They have always been very, very whip smart and like you say, sharp talkers. And I'm not surprised because you're a sharp talker. Jack's no slouch either. Jack's a really intelligent person, but you have the gift of gab. And I don't know that either one of them talk like you do, but I certainly know that when Jackson comes out with a quip, I'm like, oh my God, that is you. That's you. So, it sounds like
Mike
you.
And I have more of a sense of humor. So Jackson is way more literal. As far as if you say something, even if you're joking, if that's not correct, he will tell you that's not how that works. And I'm like, okay, settle down. But Mike and I find the same stupid things funny. So, you know what I mean? So it's kind of like they get a little bit of each of it from both of us.
So if you don't mind, I may hijack the end of your segment here just a little bit and tell one of my favorite stories in The Adventures of Being Teena.
All right.
Teena and I have had many adventures together and we laugh about a lot of things. But one of the funniest things that has ever happened to us involves her husband, Jack. He was there as well. We have not stopped laughing about it. I'm going to tell this story because
I know where this is going.
Well,
as soon as you said Jack was there as well, and we can't stop laughing about it, I knew what you were talking about.
You know. The year is 1990. Actually, what was it? 97, 99? When did Titanic come out?
97.
Titanic. Can you believe that movie is like 108 years old already? What happened? All right, so let's say it was 1997. Titanic came out, and we were going to go see it. You guys were visiting me in Orange County, California. I think for some reason we were down in that area, and was it like a late night showing, or I don't even know if it was opening weekend or close to it. Regardless,
I think it opened on Christmas Day, and we went to like the 10 or 11 o'clock showing that night.
Wow, did we really? Okay, wow. So we're walking through the parking lot, and it's cold, Southern California cold. So Teena's bundled up with her sweatshirt and pants and everything else. She's got her hands in her pockets. And
I was wearing my husband's jacket.
She's wearing her husband's jacket, yes, with her hands.
This is important to the story.
Well, I don't know any of those at the time. This is what I see. This is what I know. Is that she got her hands shoved in her pockets because it's cold, and she's walking, and we're talking, and all of a sudden, Teena goes down, but she trips, and as she trips, she can't get her hands out of her pocket, so she's struggling, and she hits the front end of a car, turns upside down, and bounces off onto the ground. It was one of the most comical moments I have ever seen. I don't laugh at people who fall. Well, that's not true. I do laugh at people who fall, but I'm always like, oh. I could not do anything. I couldn't see if she was okay. I couldn't do anything. Her husband and I spent, I don't even know how many minutes laughing at her while she was on the ground because we could not get over the image. It was so funny. You just went from dead upright as if someone just knocked a tree over. You didn't bend, nothing. Your legs didn't. You just hit that car and bounced off of it into the gutter and laid there with your hands in your pockets. Well, that wasn't supposed to happen.
Oh, man.
Would you like to tell the world what happened to you that night we saw Titanic and why it's so funny? Do you have any? I mean, that's exactly what happened. You have said that buttons got caught
Yeah. So
trying to
yes.
get your hands out of the
So
jacket.
first of all, it should be known that I am clumsy, and apparently that's an ADHD
Bless.
thing. Walking into things.
Well, now I feel bad.
No. I didn't know. I didn't know till many years later, and not trying to make that my whole
Right.
personality, but apparently there are things that happen to me regularly that are because of my inability to pay attention.
I'm sorry, it's my ADHD. I'm so sorry, it's my ADHD. You're a bitch. I'm so sorry.
It's my
ADHD. Oh God, no.
But so we
kidding.
were
That's
walking
funny,
through the
though.
parking lot, and Jack had this
Mm.
this jacket. It was kind of like an army green color, and it had big front pockets, and it had buttons on the sleeves. And because the jacket was too big for me, the sleeves hung over my fingers, and so I had grabbed the ends of the jacket and then put my pockets in the sleeves.
Right.
I mean, put my
Right.
hands in the pockets with the sleeves in my fist. And we were
Right.
walking, and of course I wasn't paying attention, and I tripped actually over one of the, what are those parking blocks called? A pylon? It's not a pylon, but whatever they are. You know, the cement parking blocks.
The parking.
And I had
Mhm.
tripped, and as soon as my foot hit that, I knew I was going down. And so I instantly started trying to pull my hands out of my pocket so I could catch myself, and the buttons got caught on the inside of the pocket, and I couldn't get them out. And so then I was like, the only thing I could do to mitigate how hard I was going to fall was to try and fall into the car. to break my fall on the way down, still the whole time trying to yank my hands out of the pockets, and then hit the car, and then I hit it hard enough that it flipped me over on my back,
Right.
and then
Right.
I went straight down. And
Straight
yeah,
down. And Jack and I were walking behind her, just a few feet behind her, talking. And so it happened so fast. We didn't see the struggle to get the hands out. We literally just saw her go from upright to hit the car and fall down. Like, I mean, yeah, it's, again, you probably had to see it to laugh, but we have laughed about it for, what, 25 years now, 20, 30 years, whatever it is.
it's been a
It
while.
hasn't stopped. Teena is clumsy. Teena is all the things
Yeah.
she says, but we love her for it. And that is one of my favorite. Next time we'll talk about hide and go seek in the dark. How about that? That's a fun one too.
I'm surprised I didn't get hurt more playing that game.
I know. Psychologically hurt more. We used to try to terrify each other. We used to try to scare each
That'll
other.
be a fun story for later.
It will be. All right. Well, I'm glad you did this. Keep coming up with more stories. We're
Absolutely.
going to write a book one day.
Someday. Well, thank you all for listening to Adventures of Being Teena, and we will see you next time.